Hi, hello viewers. Welcome back to channel SPBeginners. Today, let's discuss what is the project and what is WBS and how project structure looks like and what is the significance of these objects. So, in this video, we'll discuss what is project first, and these are different topics that we are going to discuss today. It's project structure, project, WBS, which means work breakdown structure, network, activities, and work packages. So these are all different, we can say PS objects that we are going to discuss in this video, and each and in the coming videos, right, I will show you the configuration that required to perform in the system, SAP system, and then how we are going to create project, WBS, network, and activities. All this will be shown in the coming videos. Let's discuss first what is the project and different PS objects and its significance. First, what is the project? Project is nothing but it has some special characteristics, you can say, and which are very complex, unique, and involves a high degree of risk, because once a project is planned and created, it is somewhat complex to change the entire structure. And whenever you create a project, each project should be unique. So with the same ID, you cannot create, you cannot duplicate the objects. Similarly, it should have some precise goals which should be agreed, and the by us and also the ordering party. By us means which is consulting team, and also the ordering party means client. The precise goals of the project should be agreed by both the sides, and there is a limited duration, and also cost and capacity intensive should be also taken care. And for these projects, quality requirements are very essential, and also they have some strategic importance for the company to carry out. Whatever the projects that are created in the company, they have some importance of that project and executing that project, use the project. So these are all different types of characteristics that are involved with the task of a project. Will see how we can you know define the project. So projects are generally part of internal processes of a company. Okay, and this will not have anything to do with outside of the company, whether it can be um, vendors or other business partners. It does not involve all those parts. It's an internal process of a company, and to control all these tasks of a project execution, some organizational form is required which is specific to that project, and that should be shared with all the departments that are involved. And also, to carry out a project, the goals of the project must be precisely described, and all the project activities should be carried out, will be structured in a correct way. And a clear and unambiguous structured project is the basis for its planning, monitoring, control, and success. As in the previous slide, I already told, once the project structure is planned and created in the system, it is very complex to change it or to remove it. Uh, we should be very careful in the starting step itself, and unambiguously unambiguous means the company and also the consulting team should be very clear on how the structure is going to be defined and how it is planned. So very well defined and planned project structure is the basic for project monitoring, control, and also the success. What is a project structure? Structure of a project can be defined on the way how it is organized or according to the process involved. In these two types, we can define a project structure, choosing the option how the project structure should look like, and based on the purpose of the project, client or company can decide on what basis the project structure will be planned and designed. Next is the organization with the WBS, that means work breakdown structure. So after creation of a project, under that we'll be creating a WBS structure. If you see the hierarchical or organizational structure of the project here, if we get into the WBS, one of the first step in the project planning is break down the work into task and set up a hierarchy. That means mm, in the name itself we can see work breakdown structure. That means work is breaking down into structure, how we want it to be, how we want to look like the process, how we want to look like the task as is. In the next slide I will provide you an example how the work is breakdown and how the structure can be defined or planned. In the next slide I will show you that example. And the criteria you use to classify and divide the task, it varies depending on the type and complexity of the project. See, I as per my opinion, I will define a process in one way, but as per um, others opinion it can be defined in another way. But how we all can agree into one structure, that depends upon the type and complexity of the project that we are going to use for the business purpose. And in the project system you can plan organization of work and people in the project within the work breakdown structure. This is one more advantage that we can say, or one more type of usage I can say. So whenever the people are working in a company, right, so the people while how we can calculate the cost for so and so person, for other person how much so for X person this month, this much will be my cost, for Y person this much will be my cost for a month. So how we can define that, and all the months will not be the same pay. And the pay as the cost also can be vary. That means, for example, if you take a salary for example, and saying that is again breaking down into basic HR, DNS allowance, ad hoc allowance, miscellaneous. So this different types of, and every time it cannot be the same, sometimes it may differ also. So in such things, there will not be a one person in a company that will be working, right? There will be lots of people who will be working in a company. So in order to understand the cost, and in order to have a great structure, so we can define a project structure. And under that so and so department, so and so department, so and so department, we can break down into that WBS. And under the WBS we can have X person, Y person, Z person. If I want to see the structure as a person wise, okay. But if I want to see structure as a breakdown wise, I will break down as a project, department. And inside the department, okay, I'll break it down into basic HR, DNS, miscellaneous, ad hoc allowance. And under it, for X person this much, for Y person this much. So um, it depends upon the type and complexity of the project you use and the purpose of the project, okay. In this way, mm, what are the processes that are involved with the networks? So one of the steps in project planning is determining the sequence in which the task will be performed. In this step, you will determine which tasks are dependent on each other, and which tasks require additional work or must be broken down further. And in the project system you can plan the processes and sequence of tasks using the networks objects. So what is a network? If you see, mm, Whenever you're going to define a network, right, that represents the sequence of the task. So first you need to perform this task, next you need to perform this task. So in that way, we can use networks for the defining or planning the sequence of a task. Okay. And what is WBS? So, as I already told, using the WBS, we can, define the project structure in a different pattern or different ways, but based upon the type and complexity and the purpose of the project that business is going to use. So, work breakdown structure, that means WBS, is a model of work to be performed in a project, and that is organized in a hierarchical structure. WBS is also important tool which helps you to keep the overview of the project, and it also forms basis of organization and coordination in the project. And as I told, reporting purpose, it will be very useful. It shows the amount of work and time required and also the cost involved in the project. So this all can be calculated by using the project structure, and WBS is going to play a role the project structure. What is WBS? If we see further, it's the functional basis for further planning steps in a project, such as not only process planning but also cost planning, scheduling, date and capacity planning or costing, and also project control. Project control means here we can define monitoring, regular monitoring, and reporting purposes. Next, the project structure can also be represented according to different criteria. For example, by phase, or by function, or by object. That means by function is nothing but the process, you can say, and by phase. By phase means uh, so at the prepare phase, explore phase, okay, and deployment phase. So like we can define with phase oriented also, and the object oriented. That means the cost. We can have different type of cost in a company. So based on the cost object also, we can define the project structure, and WBS can be used to define the project structure or to represent the project structure, we can say. And in a WBS, you can describe individual tasks and activities, and also individual elements um, in a hierarchy wise, not all at same level. You can define it as different levels. So in the coming slide, right, I'll provide you an example so that you will be aware of one type of the project structure. But you can also try with your knowledge, whatever the idea comes upon your mind, in that way also you can define the project structure. But based upon the usage, client will go will be deciding based upon which the structure should be defined and the structure looks appropriate to their business. And also, depending upon the phase of the project, you continue to break down the task and activities in your project step by step until you reach the level of detail necessary to carry it out. This we can say milestones, but yeah, I will be going into deep for this point in the later coming videos. Yeah, this is the example. So here I am taking a construction of a building, for example. It's very minute example, but you can try it on your with your knowledge also. Whatever idea comes into your mind, that structure is also applicable for this scenario. Okay. Here I'm taking a scenario of construction of a building, and at level 1, I am distributing into the departments. So here we can have multiple departments as well, but here I'm taking example of two departments, okay, civil and electrical. Okay. And at level 2, I'm defining what type of mm, what type of component I'm purchasing. Okay. And for that component, how how many different types of components are there under that department. Okay. That's the level 2 WBS. And if you see for civil means it's hard construction. That means we require sand cement, not only sand cement, we can have a brick, and we can also have what do we say that, yes, sand cement I already mentioned, right? Okay, we can have a brick, and also we can have wood. Okay, and we can have many other components, but here as an example I'm mentioning these two, as this will be the main parts. And coming to the electrical department, the wiring, not only wiring, we can have also many other switchboards, fuses, and all and all and all, but I'm mentioning the very basic component. At level 3 I will distribute it how much is consumed for first floor, how much is consumed for the second floor. So what I'm doing here is, hmm, if I'm constructing an apartment, for example, the real estate owner will sell it. How he will sell the apartment? He will sell the apartment into unit wise, a home wise. So in the first floor, if I'm having four homes, that means four families can live in that, and there are four homes. So what I will do is, for each home, how much cost is, I have made, or I, for each home, for this home, how much cost I have incurred, and for the second home, how much cost I have incurred. So based upon that only I can define the selling price of that house. So what I will do, I want the project structure to be defined as how much cost I will be incurring for the each and every house. uh, like that, there will be many floors, and so here I am defining first floor, second floor, and there will be some common places, or there will be some common units in the apartment itself, that will be shared between all the units of a floor. So for that I will have another WBS side to the second floor, which is common. Okay, or which is common to entire apartment, we can say. But still, if I dig in further, right, in the first floor there can be, if I expand this structure, I will be having one more level of WBS, which is level 4 WBS. And for the sand, for the first floor, I will dig in further, I will break down this into further with first house, second house, third house, fourth house, and I'm having four house or homes in the first floor, right? And also I will have a fifth WBS, which is the common. So I can calculate the cost of common infrastructure that is being built on the first floor. Similarly, I will do for the second floor, and also all other hierarchical WBS. So this is I have taken example of two departments only, civil, electrical, but there may be other mechanical, and also plumbing work will also be essential, right? So that one. And one more, I will have a department which is labor. So whatever the cost that is incurred by the labor, right, that one also I required to perform. So in this way I am breaking down my structure. There can be other ways of breaking down the work. Okay, what we can say is as WBS, work breakdown structure. There can be other way, other project structure also, which is applicable. But what the scenario I'm taking, what is the purpose of my project? My purpose of the project is to calculate the cost for each and every home. That's the reason I am exploring into this way. We can explore it in other way also, but however, the last level of the WBS will be my you know first home, second home, third home, fourth home of each floor. In this way we can have the project structure. Here I am having project and WBS, but still we can have network and activities assigned to the WBS to have the sequence of the task. Okay, see here we see what's the WBS elements. The individual elements represent activities within the work breakdown structure. The structure we call it as work breakdown structure, but the element or the object we call it as a WBS element, work breakdown structure element. In SAP language, we can say it's a WBS element. And WBS elements can be task or partial tasks which can be subdivided further or work packages. So based upon our purpose of the project and type of the project and complexity of the project, and according to the business scenario, we can have WBS elements in either of these three uh, models. Okay, it can be a task, or it can be a partial task, or it can be a work package. Either one of is applicable. Next, we'll see what is network. A network can represent the sequence of activities in a project, or the sequence of a single activity, or also we can say, or if we are having multiple activities, the sequence we can say. Okay, and you can graphically display various structural elements of a project and their interdependencies in the project system. So if we are having any dependencies, that means one task is dependent on the other task, that we can define using a network. And during the life of a project, that means the life cycle of a project, networks are used as a basis for planning, analyzing, controlling, and monitoring, scheduling dates and resources, right? As I already told, for personal or people cost also, that means manpower or labor cost can also be calculated or reported using a project. Next, what's the network? So there are different types of questions when I say network. So some examples of questions I can answer with the information. uh, okay, so when you get a question of a network, for example, so I have some question, and that information I'll get it from a network. So that type of examples I will provide you here. Where are we unclear on the processes in the project, and what are the possible consequences? So this can information can be you get it from a network. And where are the scheduling uncertainties, and how significant are they? So this answer also you'll get it from a network. That means, so all the parameters that are reasonable, or that are applicable to these questions, are defined in a network. That's what I meant to say here. When and in what amount do we incur cost and make expenditures for this project? That means in what currency is one month, and in what amount. That means what can be the maximum and what can be the minimum. And we can also schedule dates in the network also. For this time to this network will be executed. So I will be defining the execution dates, start and end dates in the network. Okay, that type of parameters are also available in the network. And when and in what quantity do resources have to be available, so that we can keep to the schedule. That means, if I take example of a labor, so first I require grounding work, the basement work. Okay, next I require the slab work. Okay, so here during the grounding work, I don't require slab equipments. So what I will do is, I will set a network where uh, from first for the first period, where I'll build the grounding, or formation, or what we say, foundation work. For the first period I will do that. Okay, for the second period I require the slab, and at that time I don't require the groundwork. What I will do, I'll set a network where labor staff will be working on the foundation for the first period. And during that period only foundation equipment is required. And in the second period, there can be other set of labor people, or it can be the same set of labor people, whatever it is applicable. That set of labor should be available, and the dates I will set as that in a network. Okay. And here in the second period, the slab equipment should be available. So I will have a network of slab equipment, and that should be scheduled between dates of second period. Okay. So in this way we will define these parameters in a network, so that these all the answers I can get in a network. Okay. Next is the activities. The most important data describing an activity in the project system is work center. That means um, we will be having multiple work centers, and at which work center this activity is going to be performed, or this activity is to be carried. So that data we will provide in the activity, and that too inside the PS. And duration of the activity, so for how much hours this activity will be performed, and start and finish dates of the activities, resources that are required to carry out this activity, and documents, if there are any such, we can attach into the activity of under the project structure. So these are all different types of data that we enter into the or provide input into the activity in the PS module, you can say. And what is a work package? Work package is a quantitative and qualitative description of an activity to be carried out in a project. For example, work to be done and the result to be achieved for a clearly defined task within the project. In that scenario, we will use a work package to structure a task. How work package is organized means a work package is not a separate function, or it is not a separate data object in the project system. You can create a work package according to your needs using a WBS element or an activity. Work package can be on any level in the WBS, and can be characterized using start and finish dates and a text, that means description of the work that is going to be performed. And you can provide responsible cost centers and cost center that will be carrying out the project. Okay. There's all data that we will provide work package, and this work package can be created at any level of WBS element, or can be assigned to an activity. Thank you for watching my video. If you do have any questions, please post it in the comment section, right? I will reply back soon with the answers. And keep supporting me. Please do like, share and subscribe to SAP Beginners channel. Thank you.